Game recognized game.
Game.
Welcome back to season 5, episode 46 of the BL Bromance Live podcast. Follow us on our Instagram at Bromance Live. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And without further ado, let the Bromance begin. All right, guys, we got a special episode for you guys today. We got a guest, guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let him introduce himself, bro. Go ahead. What's your name? Where you from?
What's up, everybody? My name is Kris. I'm from Oahu, Hawaii, and I live in Southern California now. Appreciate y'all having me tonight, man.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
We're so excited.
It's been a long time. I know it's been a long
time in the making. Long time in the making, bro. It's cool.
We've been
It's like almost a year. Almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. And that's crazy. We made it a year, and then you still came through. So that's even special, bro.
Heck yeah. I've been looking forward to this since the beginning. I was like, man, I wonder if they're still doing shows during this pandemic. So
Yeah.
I'm glad
We're trying.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing it, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So you were born in Hawaii?
Born and raised, Oahu, Hawaii.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Born and
dope,
raised.
bro.
That's tight. We were discussing, I was like, could he really be from Hawaii? Maybe he's not. He has a lot of pictures in Hawaii. So
No, I'm born and raised. I didn't leave that place till I was 17. I left.
That's
dope.
The first time I left was for college,
that's
and I just
crazy.
never went back. Yep.
What's a good
brother.
place you recommend to visit? Because I plan on going to Hawaii sometime.
It depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go like to vacation and just chill,
How about beach?
Maui's a good island. But if you're trying to party,
Oh.
for sure go to Waikiki. Yeah, if you're gonna party,
Waikiki.
you go to Waikiki. It's
Yeah.
on Oahu, but it's expensive, but it's fun.
Really?
It's fun.
You would know because you're from there, you know. So like,
Yeah.
so it's like a tourist. What a tourist would want to do, like all that tourist stuff. But since you're from there, like you actually know what's up.
It's true. Yeah, I do. But of course, you want to stay away from certain spots. Maybe where I'm from isn't a tourist friendly spot, but if you stay in Waikiki, you know what I'm saying, you get to chill, and, party out there. They got the clubs and the bars. It's always fun down there.
That's dope.
tight.
Yeah.
Word, bro. Man. So in order for us to get to know you a little more, or for like the audience to get to know you a little more, we're gonna do a segment called Rapid Fire, bro.
Oh man, let's go. I hear this every episode. I'm ready to go. Bring it. Send it.
All right.
Ready, bro? So I'll start.
Rapid fire.
Best advice you could give someone, and best advice you've ever been given.
Oh, easy. So the best advice I've gotten and the best advice I could give came from the same person, Mr. Brewer, and it's the same thing. So it's he actually passed, so rest in peace, Mr. Brewer. But it's always to pursue your dreams no matter what, no matter so. Always stay resilient and always go after what you want.
Of course.
Dope.
Wait.
Good.
All-time favorite movie.
It's a tie. The Lone Survivor and it's gonna be funny. The Notebook.
Curveball.
Plot twist.
I fuck with both those movies, so you're good. You're good.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, dead or alive, who would you want to fight in the ring and why?
Oh, easy. George St. Pierre. Because the first time I watched one of my first UFC events was he beat up BJ Penn. Being from Hawaii, it hurt. It hurt, and also my wife is in love with him. She loves that guy.
Dude, he's
So
bodied up, bro.
if I had to-
He's bodied up, man.
Yeah, he's got caught with PDs a few times, so it is, whatever. I don't want to point any fingers, but
What's the ideal date night?
the ideal date night would be probably some wine for me. My wife don't really drink, but some wine and a movie. I'm big into movies and just chilling, watching a movie, probably at home.
That's cute.
'Cause, yeah.
Dope. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Easy, dude. This is all easy. This is easy one. When you're driving on the freeway, and somebody got their convertible top down, but their windows are all up. For whatever reason.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there, bro. I didn't expect.
I would say, and if any of you guys do that, I'm sorry, but you gotta stop. Pick one.
Like, what are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
You can't be halfway
Trying to make
in,
the
halfway
convertible
out.
more convertible.
You gotta be
That's
all the
cool.
way in or all the way out. Figure it out.
Hey, for real.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah. All right, Steven, you're
Yeah.
next.
All right. So I got
All right,
mine.
let's go.
If you could be any animal, which one would it be?
Oh, you came with the heaters. Probably an easy one is a lion, but I'll probably be a honey badger too because they're not afraid of nothing.
Honey badger.
They go at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nobody
Good
ever
one.
brings a honey badger to the game, you know?
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying.
I like that answer.
Gotta be different.
Yeah. What's your favorite family tradition?
So in Hawaii, every time one of the kids would have this, man, these are easy ones. Every time one of the kids would have a, well, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, but one of them would have a birthday. We would send my ex-brother-in-law down to the beach to the specific spot, and he would hold it down. He would hold it early, like 4 a.m, and then we would all head down there like 8, 9 in the morning, and we would all just chill, drink, and barbecue and hang out with each other. You know, the beach is right there, so
Yeah.
easily one of my favorite family traditions.
That's fun.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Beach.
Yeah.
Beach. What's one overrated show or movie that you haven't seen yet?
You got her ones. Breaking Bad. I don't think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I haven't seen. I watched like the first 5 minutes, and
Right.
it was like,
Hey, me neither, bro. Don't even trip.
yeah, it's cool.
Everyone talks about
Let's
it, bro.
go.
Everybody.
And that's all I need. Like, oh, bro, you think it's good? If everyone thinks it's good, it's probably
It's
good.
good.
I don't have to give my validation.
Me
Oh,
neither.
that's
I'm
it.
saying when they talk about, it, I'm like, oh yeah, and when I bring it up, like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it. They're like, oh, you're crazy. You gotta watch. I'm like, I'm good though. You know, I've heard everything about it. I know what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. I thought you were about to say Game of Thrones.
Nah, but that one I watched. Like,
Yeah.
twice. I was all in on that.
All
No
right.
way.
All in.
All right. Did someone ever hit you so hard that it made you cry?
It depends. You talk about my childhood for sure. My dad beat the
Oh,
life out of me. I probably-
Jesus.
Same though.
But
Well,
if you
Hey,
talk
we
about
get
my
it.
childhood, I'm sure my dad hit me a few times. Yeah, but nah, outside of that, I don't think so. I mean, I bullied a few times, but I don't think I cried because of it. You know?
right. I feel you.
Damn, okay.
I got
It's
you. Well,
tough.
you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
hit
I mean, I guess you do get used to it.
rating.
But
I remember.
question. My dad
my
beat me up.
question, if they were going to make a fighting movie a la Creed or Rocky about you, who would you want to portray you to be that main actor?
Oh, well.
Right?
We stumped him. We stumped him. Let's go.
That one wasn't easy. I thought of that one.
It depends though, because who I want to portray me versus who would probably portray me is different.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, give us both answers.
Made it harder.
I mean, clearly based on looks and body structure, The Rock would probably be like,
Of course.
Hey,
Duh.
for real. Spot on.
I mean, we basically look the same with our shirts off.
Yeah.
Word.
I see it.
That would probably be it. But nah, I don't know. That'd be tough to be honest. Maybe Elon Musk. Nah, I don't know. Man. That's a hard one.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
That one would be hard. Jason Momoa is another one I always get stopped for pictures. Like, oh, Jason.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, no, that's not me. Sorry.
I would get him to
Where'd
play
the long
me.
hair? Where'd the long hair go?
I don't even
And the
care.
tats.
Yeah. Like, oh, my God, Jason, you cut your hair. I'm like, I know, I had to. My next role is something crazy.
Alright, that's funny. Alright, so that wraps it up for the rapid fire. And then we can move on to next segment, bro.
Let's do it.
Alright, next segment, bro. It's a little bro code that we like to do. And this bro code, bro, is should you masturbate or have sex before a sporting event? And to clarify, that you are in entertainment during that event, aka you're the fighter, you're the soccer player, you're the football player, the swimmer, whatever it may be. You're in a sporting event, and should you have sex the night before or like right before the event? Do you think that messes you up, or is that a myth, or is that like sports science?
Personally, I think it's a psychological thing. Like, I know a lot of athletes when I played ball through college, I played football in college. So for me, everything had to be like the exact same thing every single time. Like I had to have my socks a certain way. I had to do certain things. I had to certain drink in the morning. I had to have the same breakfast. So if that's what it is, yeah, ritual. It had to be super ritualistic or whatever, if that's a word.
Yeah.
I just made it up. But
It works.
It's a word.
if it was off, it'd be in my. So if that's part of my ritual that I gotta.
Gotta do it.
So athletes make it part of your ritual and you're good.
Hey, for real, no complaint there. It's part of your ritual, no complaint.
But you gotta have a wife that's gonna be game. She gotta be game. You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Hey, game.
You gotta figure
That's
it out.
right. That's right.
She gotta be a team player. If not,
the partner gotta be a team player. She gotta be game, or he gotta be game. I don't know, whatever it
may be.
for
sure.
Girl, guy, whatever it is. My bad, forever.
Non-binaries, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you're into.
Yeah, man. Because back then, I remember back then it was like a either a stigma or it was like, oh, you're not supposed to have sex before like you're gonna play because you're not gonna like supposedly your stamina, bro. You're gonna waste your stamina to like having all that sex. You're not gonna perform. But honestly, I think that's nothing. Like, do what you want to do, bro. Just compete at a high level, and you'll be good.
just get a good night rest.
Exactly. I remember they said the same thing. Man. They used to say the same thing. Oh, you're gonna let all your aggression out. Like, yo, how do you even know I'm having aggressive sex?
For real. Hey, I'm making love. What you talking about? I'm making love out here. What you mean?
Yeah.
I'm a lover. When the ring, I'm a fighter.
Hey, that's
what's up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Too much.
Anything to add there, guys? Bro code?
No.
I mean, that was well said.
Yeah.
Well said. All right, then we'll close it up. Then we'll close it up. All right, bro. We're gonna move on. We got some questions for you, bro. And
wait, actually, before we go into those questions, like, let's talk more about the man, the myth, the legend. He said he's been trying to get on the show for a year, right?
Yeah.
Let's ask him, what made you discover us in the first place?
Yeah, or get interested
in us.
He fucks with the vision.
We sound like the low self-esteem girlfriend who's like, why are you interested?
Hey,
to be honest, I remember I think you guys liked the picture or something, and I was like, oh, what is this? What is this bromance thing? Like, and I went to your page and I was like, oh, it's a podcast. This is dope. But I looked, I'll be honest with you guys, I saw the followers and I was like, it must be new.
Yeah, and we were. I was like, they must be new. Yeah, I was like, oh, they must be new. And I was like, oh, this would be dope. Like, we could, help each other out. And I remember one of our first conversations was like, yo, I'm not gonna be like, there's not gonna be any compensation or anything like this. Man, I ain't even worried about that. I never asked for none of that. I seen, somebody got a vision, and you guys had a dream. And like I said, and the best advice I ever received was, yo, to that dream. So I figured, like, I could help them and they could help me further along the path of reaching that and accomplishing the dream. And to me, there's no better feeling of accomplishment and achievement when you help people along that path. When you help them further their goal, their progress. That's the dream for me too. To be able to help others, as many people as I can. And I know we got serious here for a second. It got serious for a little bit, but that's definitely one of the goals, is to use fighting or whatever I'm doing as a platform to help others. Because growing up, I didn't really have that in my life, coming from where I'm from. So I just wanted to do that for other people. And I seen how funny you guys were when you sent me the link to like your first few episodes, and I was like, hey, these dudes are funny, man. Like, we have a good time, because I think I'm kind of funny. So you are, yeah.
And we're finally here. Yeah,
and it's fun, bro. It's fun. It's fun, yeah.
Yo, that's so nice of you to say that, because at the
Yeah.
beginning we were so awkward too.
Yeah.
So you're just being so nice.
But you got a good heart, bro. You come from a good place.
I appreciate that, man. I'm sure my grandma would be proud of that.
Yeah, she would be. Yeah, man, it's good, and then we'll help each other out. And hopefully, we could continue helping each other out in the future.
We all gotta help each other out.
Yeah, bro, that's what it's about,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Contribution.
That's a big message in today's world, and it's funny now. Look, that we're doing it now with everything going on in the world. You know what I mean? You got to be able to help each other out. You can't just let people slide by the wayside when you have a chance. You know, put your hand out, help somebody out whenever you can.
Exactly.
Maybe it all worked out for a reason. Yeah, I don't know if you guys believe in that, but you know, here we are today with the world.
It was meant to be, and here we are, bro. Anything to add, Brian?
It was meant to be.
Tell us a little more about yourself. Like, you know, like where you come from, you know, how was your family life like, and then what made you get into fighting, you know? It's because it's so curious. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like
we're not from that scene.
Yeah, we're not from that scene. Like, we don't know a lot, so I'm just curious, like, you know, what got you to this point in your life? It's so interesting.
Right.
Well, I was born and raised in the city, Oahu, Hawaii. Super little city. If you look at the map of Oahu, it's literally in the middle. And it's funny, we're called the armpit of Hawaii.
Oh,
man.
Well, hey,
but growing
it's
up,
well shaved and with a good deodorant armpit.
And deodorant. It got
damn
the
right
organic deodorant on it. Yeah, but growing up, I just played sports. I was always big into basketball and football. And I played basketball and football. Finally made it to college. And I had to pick one. I picked football. I got as far as I could get with that before I got diagnosed with some Crohn's disease. That kind of cut my career short in that. And me and my wife, who she was with me in North Dakota, we traveled a lot. So I went to Stockton, California. I lived there for 3 years.
Right.
I lived in New Mexico, and then I went up to North Dakota. And my wife came with me, or she's my fiance at the time, to North Dakota. And when I finished that season and I left, we were like, hey, and to me in my brain, I don't know if I even told my wife this. To me in my brain was like, we're going back to Stockton because all my boys are there. She's gonna be mad when she hears this. All my boys are there. We're going back to Stockton. Yeah, but I was like, yeah, let's go. So we drove from North Dakota. And we decided on the way here, we're going to stop in Rancho Santa Margarita, to see your uncle. And we stopped. And I'm driving, and I'm like, man, you know, I didn't come from a nice city. Stockton isn't the nicest city. I love Stockton, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And I said, if I'm going to have a family and I'm going to have my own kids, I want them to be in this kind of environment, like something different. So we decided to stay. And I started as actually telemarketer, and that's what I was doing.
Over the phone,
it was the worst job.
Everybody who works as a telemarketer, they hate it.
Yeah,
it's by far the worst thing you can ever do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have to, it's a starting point. You know, people got to do it, but
get out.
People who do it as a career, man, hats off to them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Literally, all you hear is, "No, we're not interested." No, and it's just over and over and over. Damn, I come home from work and my wife's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Damn, I feel like I got rejected like 300 times." I mean, it sucks, but you know, I had
builds
to do
character.
it.
Builds character, though.
Big time. That's for sure. Yeah. But I was just dying out here, not having to compete and anything. I play basketball and stuff like that, but it was like the competition side of me. I'm very competitive. I'm super competitive, so it was killing me. And I think my wife was getting upset because I have like these episodes of just being grumpy. And you know, I boxed when I grew up, and in Hawaii, I made a lot. And I used to watch a lot of MMA and UFC and be like, oh, I could do this. No, you know, like every other guy. I knocked this fool out. Like, oh, I'm about to be the champ. Right. So I went to a few gyms, and I walked into my home gym, Team Aoyama, and the head coach walked in, Colin Aoyama, who I didn't know at the time is an OG. I mean, he's coached everybody from like Tito Ortiz, Rampage Jackson, and I didn't know. He walked in and he said something. Yeah, he said something, and I was like, "Are you from Hawaii?" And he was like, "Are you from Hawaii?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that way, I found out he's from Hawaii. And he asked me if I wanted to fight, and I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he had me come spar with the guys. It kind of didn't go as planned to start. You know, I had a few black eyes,
For sure.
few messed up knee.
Oh
My
man.
ribs hurt a lot. I helped me off. You know, I kept at it, and yeah, I'm finally turned professional. I always told my pops I was gonna make it to be a professional. Did that. So next goal, you know.
Yo,
But yeah, that's kind of
dope.
how it all came. Sorry for making that a long one.
No, that's good, bro. That's perfect.
Oh, dude. That
No,
was
I
That's
mean
a long one,
it's
but
so
sorry.
interesting. Oh,
do-
I
do-
have a question. Because
Okay.
Yeah.
sorry, Steve.
Go over it. Let it
Yeah.
take.
So you said that you didn't start with MMA and all that stuff. So what was your wife's reaction when you told her that you wanted to do MMA? Because I mean, if it would have been me, I'd be like, "Oh, so you're just gonna get beat up
Yeah.
like that?" I don't know about
Real quick, to piggyback
Yeah.
off. To piggyback off Eloy, your wife and family, like, what does your wife and family think?
Yeah.
Like, your parents, your brothers, sisters, if you have brothers and sisters, like, nah, bro, don't do it. You're gonna get. Because real talk, from like, for
I
those,
think it was a mix.
for those that don't know,
I'll
like,
go for it.
for those that don't know, like, in like MMA, and you want to get to like the UFC, that's
Oh, yeah.
top, you know.
That's the
There's
show.
other like
Yep.
what's that, Bellator, and other stuff. You could get to that too, but UFC, that's the
Yep.
top notch. But UFC fighters don't make that much either. There's only like 4 guys that make like top notch money. That's like Conor McGregor, and you know, and he has his side business too. Is, you know, his whiskey and all that stuff. That's how you make money, you know.
Yep.
So like, knowing that, like, you're not gonna make that much money, like, that has an effect too. Like,
You do what you love.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's what it is. I needed something to do in competition, and I fell in love with the sport because, again, like any other guy watching it, I'm like, oh, dude, I'll knock this guy out and be 10. But when you get in the gym and you're actually working with these guys and you're sparring with them, like, damn, this shit is. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I swear on you? My bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You do it all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, dude, this shit is hard. Like, it's so much more than just punching each other in the face. It's not a street fight like growing up.
No.
It's so much strategy that goes into it, and hours and hours and hours of developing strategies and, you know, technique. And then when you throw in
Right.
wrestling and jiu-jitsu, for me, I don't want to throw in. I mean, this isn't a secret that nobody knows. My wrestling and jiu-jitsu is my weak. That's my weak spot. So when you throw that all into the mix, it's like, damn, I got to do all of this, and I got to do this in this amount of time. These guys have been doing it. So mentally, that toll on you. My first MMA fight was like, damn, this guy might be like the next Anderson Silva. This guy could be the next GSP. I'm about to fight the new John Jones. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to overcome that as well,
The fear.
because you can lose the fight before the first round starts. But you know, my wife, I don't. She's never expressed to me any like negative thoughts. She's always been like my number one supporter as far as chasing after my dreams. Yeah, when I was trying to get to the league and the league meaning the NFL, she was right there. She flew with me to Seattle for whatever, you know, workouts I needed to do.
Right.
She was always there. So she's never expressed any negative, you know, like, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think deep down in her heart, she was like,
It hurts.
damn,
Yeah.
don't get punched in the face. I know. But she actually liked it though, because she understands MMA more. She's from Hawaii too.
Oh,
So
nice.
she
Okay.
understands fighting more than football. So when I would sit around and talk to
Mm.
football about, like, with her, she'd be like, okay. But when we talk about fighting, granted, it's a different level of language that we speak. For her, it's like, stop thinking, just punch him and knock him out.
Right.
But we're able to communicate more on that level. But of course, she's always concerned, you know. But like my last fight, I broke 3 bones in my face. I had a pretty bad concussion. She never left my hospital bed. I left the fight in an ambulance. She never left for a second.
Dude,
She left her
dope.
friends
love.
all at the venue.
Yeah, that's love.
She got in the
That's the one
ambulance
right
with me,
there.
so,
Yeah, that's the one.
yeah.
And
Little
he
That's
wiped it
for
up.
sure.
You
That's why I
smart. You
married.
smart.
That's why I married her.
Yeah.
I
Yo,
know,
so
I
wait,
know.
so
You know, I figured it out the hard way.
yeah. Hey, it was so she said that she's from Hawaii too. So like, was that your high
Yeah.
school sweetheart, or like, how'd you guys meet?
No, she's from Hawaii too, but my roommate when I was living in Stockton was actually talking to her roommate. This is actually kind of a funny story.
Mhm.
And they were Skyping at the time, and I was, creeping on my boy, like, oh, what if she's like over the shoulder.
Like
And
boys do.
she
Yeah.
walked behind in the camera. Yeah, like you boys do. And my wife walked behind, and I popped into the conversation. I said, "Ooh, hello, who's that?" I said, "Who is that walked by?" And she came into the camera with this weird face. We were just talking about this. And she came to this camera and made a face. I said, "Oh, I want to punch you in the face." And that was the first words I said to her was, "I want to punch you in the face." And she will tell you a different story. She'll tell you a different story, but she stalked me on Facebook.
Oh, right.
Like straight
okay.
up stalked me on Facebook. She was in my messages every day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
She got my number somehow. It was crazy, dude. She'll tell you a completely different story.
Yeah.
She
Of
throwing
course.
pillows at me right
She'll
now.
tell you the opposite. He was stalking me. He was on my Facebook.
Exactly.
It's always like that.
Hit it.
Who's your favorite fighter all time? Like UFC, and who do you think is like top notch right now in the game? Like who's your favorite right now? And then I'll tell you mine.
All right. Best of all time to me is John Jones. John Jones by far.
Yeah.
I mean,
No doubt.
he does cocaine. He does cocaine the weekend before he fights. And
What he does outside the ring is crazy.
Because why
But what he does in the ring,
Even more crazy.
I
It's
know.
his ritual. We talked about this, guys.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. He got to do a couple lines of cocaine, and he's ready to go. But yeah, man, people hold that against him. But I'd like to see anybody try to go get blacked out drunk the weekend before and then get into a cage fight the weekend after. Ain't no way.
Fuck that. No.
Yeah, ain't no way.
No way.
But as of right now, I mean, my boy Alex Perez, I gotta wear a shirt. He just won tonight. So shout out to
really?
my boy
Nice.
Alex. Yeah.
Shout out.
Hey.
Yeah, he just won tonight, Alex Perez. He's from 559 no more. But in the game right now, I mean, you got to look at guys like Israel Adesanya. That fool is a monster. He's a freak of nature. I think he's gonna go down as one of the best ever for sure.
He's
And
good.
then dudes like not dudes, but Amanda Nunes is another one. She just won tonight.
She's won.
She's gonna be one of the greatest too, man. She's gonna be one of the greatest. I don't think any woman's gonna beat her.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just kidding.
For
No.
me, yeah, bro. John
Yeah,
Jones, bro,
let me hear
he's
yours.
a
I wanna hear
beast.
yours.
So my bro right now is, and I think it's right now. Mine's Jorge Masvidal, bro. Oh my
Ooh,
god,
he's a good
bro.
one.
I love
He's a
him,
good
bro.
one.
And then I've been going back. I've been following his YouTube stuff, bro, and I just found his street fights he did with Kimbo Slice, bro. Ooh, those are
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
When he looked, hey, he was all the way back there. My boy Chito, another guy in the UFC, my teammate, he says Jorge is the funniest dog.
Yeah,
He says
I
they
bet,
chill all
bro.
the time. He
Oh,
says
tight.
he's so funny. Yeah,
I
he
bet
said he's so funny.
bro.
I want to meet that guy.
Yeah, me too. I love his style, bro. His preparation, like everything, bro. Like, and then his team around him, they look like dope guys. And that's my favorite all down. So I want to see him get those big fights because I feel like he could back it up. He's like one of the only ones I think could back it up.
For sure. The 2 pieces and a chicken all day long. Or two
Yeah.
pieces and a soda. What? 2 pieces and a soda?
Yeah.
Man, that shit was classic. But they just
Yeah.
had him on Sports Center. He just was on Sports Center tonight, and he was talking about being a free agent. So hopefully they give him the money he wants, man. Because like you were saying earlier, you made a good point. Like, UFC guys don't get paid unless you're in the upper echelon.
Yeah,
It sucks. Yeah.
it does, bro. Hopefully, man.
In
Hopefully,
the face for and his
the company's growing, so hopefully the fighters get a cut from that. Company's been growing. Hopefully
Yeah.
they figure it out.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, soon
Yeah.
we're gonna see Kris up there. Promise you guys.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the
Hey,
plan.
it's gonna
Hopefully.
happen. No, hopefully it's
Leave
gonna
it-
happen.
Stay with it. Yeah,
For
stay
sure.
with it.
Bromantic life. Let's go, boy.
Hey, we're gonna sponsor. We're gonna sponsor. Hey, we're gonna sponsor.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
We gonna be
I'm for sure
ringside
give you guys those shout outs all day.
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
That'd be fun.
Any questions, guys?
That's it.
Do you have any
Have you-
questions for us?
I have a question actually.
Yeah. All right, go for it.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Have you ever fought like outside the ring, like an actual scrimmage, like with
Yeah.
against somebody, like a problem, like a beef?
Like a bar fight,
Like
street
a
fight,
fight?
anything?
You used like your skills.
Uh, nah. I
No.
mean, I've gotten into fights before, being in Hawaii, but that was before I trained.
Before you
So
train.
it was just like, who's gonna hit each other the hardest? Yeah, like who's gonna hit each other the hardest?
Did you ever like hope?
So I mean,
Like,
kind
not
of in
hope,
Hawaii, that's what you do.
right? But did you ever like hope or like be like, oh, if shit goes down, you know, I'm gonna take this guy out, you know? Like, yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
sometimes
he's
you run
thinking
into
about it. He's
somebody
like,
that's
Yeah.
a little bit.
I ain't gonna
That's what I
stunt.
would do, like,
Sometimes you run into somebody
right,
that'd be crazy, you know. But I don't think so. I think I've been slept a few times in street fights because I'm trying to break it up.
right.
Like
Yeah.
it always happens. And my wife has seen it where I'm like, yo, you guys just chill, and I'll turn one way and I turn the other way, and then I just see this big old Samoan, and Samoan dudes are huge.
Big,
They're
yeah.
huge.
yeah.
And I see this big old fist say blap in my face.
Oh,
And if
God.
I didn't grab him by his shirt, I would have been on that pavement sleeping.
Ooh.
And I said, hey, I don't remember what I said because I probably had a concussion, but I try
Oh,
to
shit.
avoid that. I try to break things up. I'm always like the peacekeeper, like everybody chill, and it never turns out good for me. So I told my wife I'm gonna stop doing that, and I'm gonna just move off to the side and let whatever happens. Y'all figure it out there. Because every time I try to break up a fight, I get punched in the face. I get my
Yeah.
shirt ripped. It never turns out good for me. So I'm just like, hey, y'all figure it out. Unless it's my
Yeah.
boys, of course. If it's my boys, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do.
Exactly.
It is what it
And
is.
that was a bro code a long time ago. If your bro gets in a fight, you gotta back it up. You gotta back him up. You're on
No
his
matter
You
how
got
corner.
it.
Back
what are
him
the
up.
numbers?
You have to. Hey, but if it's a one-on-one thing in Hawaii, at least in Hawaii, if it's a one-on-one thing, you kind of just let it go. The only time you
Oh,
step
right,
in is
right.
if they go to the ground and you stand them up. Like, hey, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Even like the people driving by, the aunties and uncles, or the older people, we call them aunties and uncles. They drive by, they'll stop. Like, oh, y'all better finish this. But it's crazy because after you're done fighting, it's like you guys are boys, like best friends. I've fought with my best friend a bunch of times.
Oh,
And we're closer than ever.
See, you guys, we
we
just gotta
chill
fight
we
like
used to
that.
hang out every day.
all right, man. So
One time,
Ryan,
you guys just
then-
gotta spar one time. I seen you guys do the workout.
Let's
Yeah.
do
I
it.
seen you guys do
Hey.
the workout things. You guys just gotta fight.
I'm down. I'm
You
with
guys gotta
it.
spar one time and just let it rip, dude.
Get in the
Yeah,
ground.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You're right.
You're all
That'd be
going
so
down.
fun to imagine.
Right.
That would be so fun. Yeah, that'd be so
All the
fun.
frustration that we have between all of us just out.
the sparring.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying everything would be let out, and then after you guys would just be all good to go again, and let it all build up, and then maybe like once every month. I don't know how frustrated you guys get with each other, but once every month, maybe you guys just
All the
take a
time.
shot.
I love how. Oh man.
Like once every week is good, I think.
Once every week.
No, I'm just kidding.
Every episode, y'all gotta get it.
Every episode, after every episode,
Steven looks like the lovable
discussion.
one, but he's fed up with everybody.
Yeah.
I see. He's feisty.
Yeah.
All right,
That's why he's so quiet. He's like, hell yeah, let's do
Yeah.
this.
let's do it. I'm down. I'm in.
It's my
Then he
chance
runs to the
shine.
table.
He's
All right.
ready.
One of the last questions. Ready?
Yeah.
So when it comes to
Yep.
fighting and training, does all the determination you have in the ring, do you apply it to your regular life or your marriage?
I think it goes the other way around. I think I prioritize my life and my wife.
Right.
Look at that. I
No.
prioritize my marriage and my life first, which is what I try to do. And I put a lot of determination into that first, I would say. Granted, I am trying to make fighting my life and my livelihood at least. But I think it carries over, the work ethic you have in life and in your marriage carries over to your cage or your fighting and training. I think for me, it's always been instilled from my pops, whether it was good or bad, did it to work hard for what you want. And that's always something that was a reoccurring theme for me from every father figure that I've had in my life. My Uncle Kevin, who lives here in Rancho Santa Margarita, who I consider him one of my father figures because my dad, he was there financially all the time. He was in the fire department and doing all this other stuff, but he was there financially. But my grandma really raised me. My mom kind of would, she did her own thing, but she did what's best for me. And she, from a motherhood, I think that's the word, perspective, she did what's best for me.
Right.
But my grandma really raised me from when I was a kid, and my mom now is working her ass off too, and we have a great relationship.
That's dope.
My mom and I, and uncle is my father figure that I consider my father figure. He works his ass off to be where he is. So I see all around me that when you work hard, you know, you get to where you want to be, whether it's in life, in your marriage, fighting, you know, podcasting, whatever it may be. But have a passion for it. You know what I'm saying? You work hard. Yeah, to me, it works out. Everything always works out. So yeah, they definitely carry over. Everything in your life has to cross at some point because, you know, you are the intersecting. So yeah, man,
That's dope.
y'all be
That was
asking me
dope.
deep questions. I'm
Man,
not
that was
ready to get
poetic.
this
That
deep.
was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right,
That's
so
what's up.
something
Good answers.
not as serious.
All right.
So we're all single except for Brian. Do you
God,
have any advice in terms of dating?
Man, listen what y'all need to do. Y'all need to we need to all get together
Okay.
Oh.
and we're gonna find y'all. Yeah, we'll find y'all your other halves.
Oh,
You know,
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm
All right.
I'm
I got
listening.
this.
I'm
This is
listening.
always wanted to do, bro. I've always wanted to do this. I've watched Hitch so many times.
she
I've watched
wants
it so
to
many
be
times.
Cupid.
It was
And
gonna be
I'm
Kevin
ready.
James.
I'm ready for this. Okay, I don't.
Okay.
Man, and I'm pretty sure my wife would have a great time too. She always says she's a good wing woman, and I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie,
Oh.
you know, she's always down. She's always down for it. So
Yeah, that's
listen,
dope.
this is. I'm gonna make a card. I'm gonna give it to you guys.
Okay.
Not gonna be called here to do this, and we'll find. Man, we'll film it, and it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna find you guys, and if you guys get married, I'm gonna have to take a cut of your
Percentage.
salary or your other half salary or something. But
For sure, for
For
sure.
the wedding gift.
You're exempt. You're exempt from bringing a wedding
sure.
gift. How about that?
I mean, if you can get me
That's
there,
what it is.
I
I'll
mean,
be
that's
exempt.
a lot.
Yeah.
What about marriage tips?
oh, hey,
Oh,
you
that.
got it.
Of course, Steven goes straight to
Marriage
the
tip?
kid and
Yeah.
caboodle.
I mean, I feel like that's
Steven,
more,
commitment guy.
that's more valuable than
I like it. I like it.
dating. You know?
I like it. He's ready to go. Look, hey, there's gonna be girls that listen to this and be, oh my God, he's ready for marriage. They're sliding all into his DMs. I'm telling
Hopefully.
you.
Oh,
Marriage tips? Nah, don't hope, bro. It's gonna happen.
no, I said, well,
Marriage tips to
I didn't say hope.
you gotta you gotta be able to compromise. You gotta be able to
Right.
communicate and compromise. That's the biggest things. I mean, if you're not communicating with your other half, it's gonna be a rough road, man. You're gonna come home and it's gonna be just a house full of tension. But you also gotta be able to compromise. Like, the perfect example is like my wife. When we get into fights,
Right.
we get into fights. We both have tempers, so she likes to be left alone to kind of process everything and what's going on. And me, I like to talk. I could talk. You know, you guys talk to anybody I know in my family, they're like, this dude just doesn't stop talking. So when I get upset, I wanna talk. And
Right.
she's like, nah, leave me alone. And I'm like, no, I want to talk. So we bump heads there, but we had to come to a compromise where it's like, all right, I'll leave you alone for like a night or a day, depending on how bad the fight is. And when you're done processing everything, we'll come back together. So
Compromise.
for me, that was something for me to learn, was to compromise. Because before, when I was younger, Kris, and I was, we've been together for 10 years. So when I was
Damn.
21, it was like I would just yell and yell and yell and yell until she would flip out, and we'd storm off and do all that dramatic stuff. But I had to figure out eventually, like, I gotta let her chill for a little bit. I gotta let her process everything that's happening, because if I don't, she's just gonna freak out. But she had to figure out at the same time, like, I gotta talk to him at some point, because I can't just keep giving him the cold shoulder. Because trust me, if you could, she'd give me a cold shoulder for like a week. But she had to figure that out. So I think communication and compromise is a huge one. Communication is number one. And
Major.
yeah,
Yo,
obviously,
that's dope.
always loving your other. You always got to make sure they know you love them.
Of course.
So yeah.
Wow.
That's so
That's
dope.
key, bro. That's good. That's good advice.
Yep.
Yep, thanks for the tips.
I hope so.
I hope you took notes, Steven. That's gonna be in the test.
Yeah.
There's a
Let's
test.
go.
Oh my
I'm
god.
saying, yeah, when
bro.
they slide into the DMs, they're gonna be like, "What's your number one?
Oh my god.
What's your number one thing?"
I don't
Oh
know.
my god, I
You
love
gotta let him
TikTok.
know. No, you can't say I don't know. You gotta let him know, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be
Man,
ready
so
to go.
I'll
stressing.
remember you, Chris. That's for sure. I'll be
You sit him
like,
up. You sit him up.
Let's
I-
go. Whenever you need help, I got you.
yeah. And whenever I do the toast, I'll be like, my boy Chris. you
My
know?
boy Chris,
Yeah.
he's the reason. He's the
I'll be on
reason
this
why.
somewhere.
Gonna
Hey,
get-
trying-
gonna
you
get-
know,
gonna
You're
get
trying to win best man. You're trying to get the best man award right there.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
see you.
Hey, bachelor party.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Yeah, so
Last segment right here is going to be Reddit Ask. And for this one,
Yeah.
it's going to be those who always call instead of text. Why?
Can I add
Those who
something? Can I add-
always
can I add
call
something?
instead of text.
Can I
So,
add
bro,
something?
so no, hold on, real
Nope.
quick, Steven. Before you add it, because I know what you're going to say. Back then, it was only phone calls. Especially, like, I think we lived through the time. I know we're young. We're young, but we lived through the time where phone calls were always a thing, you know? And in elementary school, you know, you'd be calling your homies. You know, you got a little crush. You'd be calling her too, whatever.
yeah.
You know, middle school, I think I started legit texting when I got like middle school, high school. That's how young we are. You know, but like right in high school, I remember everything was text. And then FaceTime came along, and then, you know, some people FaceTime. My boy, I guess my boy hates it over there. You can see his facial expression.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Just hate it. He just hates it when you do
It
it.
just
Oh,
flows
my
off.
bad. My bad.
No. It's just like well, people who FaceTime instead of call. You know, like usually I expect a FaceTime when you're like you prep it up. You know, like hey, let's FaceTime together or something, or like let's FaceTime where you're showing me something. But when you FaceTime yourself, just talking, it's just like it's all like oh. What up?
Yeah, how I look or something, bro?
And
Yeah,
no,
how you look, bro?
sometimes it's just awkward though. Like you just
No,
make it-
he
in my
has
defense,
he has the mentality of what people who hate calling have.
Yeah.
Like, why are you calling me when you can just put this into text? He's like, why are you FaceTiming
Yeah,
me
dude,
when you can just
text.
call me?
I respect the calls because the calls like there's some things you want to like just get it quick because text you can take a while to respond.
Yeah.
To defend myself real quick, I never FaceTime. To be honest with you, I never FaceTime. I never used that application in my life on the iPhone, bro. But I had like friends that they started doing it, and then I think I just got used to it, I guess, and I started FaceTiming. It's fun, bro. You just be FaceTiming like shooting the breeze, you know, like nothing. So that's why I brought it on to you, because I thought you were gonna be my homie and be open to it, but whatever. I guess not. Stop it right now.
I guess not.
And then,
I guess
and then
not.
my only problem with like texting, because sometimes I do like phone calls when it's like time, you know, because sometimes the other person's busy or I'm busy myself, so I gotta text that. But sometimes for me, like I can't get everything I want to say through text, so I gotta be like getting a phone call, you know, so we could be sure for sure. But I guess some people just don't like phone calls either. So
No,
I know. What are you guys?
I like phone calls, but FaceTime, like there's times where I'm playing like Apex or watching a movie, and not only do I have to worry about the movie or worry about winning the game, I have to FaceTime you.
Yeah.
I have to hold it while
Yeah.
playing. I'm like I could put you for phone. I could put you in the AirPods and just do both. But
Yeah.
Wait, he
You're
said you.
inconvenient. You're inconvenient.
I mean, yeah.
How dare you?
Just delete my number. Hey, problem solved, Steven. Delete my number. No, I just kidding. Block me. Problem solved.
Lose my
I would-
number, bro.
Yeah. Hey, what about you guys?
well, wait to add something too.
Mm.
Like I like FaceTiming too. Like it's not just I hate it.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, okay, now I see.
But you have to
I
set
see.
it up. You have to
Now
tell me.
that he hurt my
Not-
feelings.
You have to tell me your FaceTime, not just randomly FaceTime me. You know?
I like how you close that with no, but I like FaceTiming, but
For anybody else who wants to do it,
That was
I like it. But it's
No,
just,
because I realized
Yeah,
like, wait,
I
I
got
FaceTimed
you.
before.
That was hilarious.
I'm not hypocritical myself.
that was funny.
I'm
I
like
think-
Man.
sometimes I don't like.
I don't know. For me, I like
It,
texting more.
hey,
But I don't know if it's because I don't
Yeah.
like calling. It's not that. It's just like sometimes it's not necessary. I feel like the
Yeah.
majority of the time it's not really necessary. If you're just
a
asking me a
waste.
question,
Yeah.
like you can pretty much just text me.
unless
guess
it's an important question.
That's
if it's
true.
True.
But like
Important
sometimes I
question.
feel like if you
Like
call
you said,
me
you gotta get the
for an
answer right
important
now.
question and I'm not
Yeah.
in the environment that you like where you should be asking me that, and I don't know how to answer you. It's just like awkward, and you're just like, I can't talk to you right now about that issue. Like it just.
Sometimes, like, I feel like we all have that one friend, and I know for us right here, we have that one friend. We're not gonna throw him under the bus, but you text him, he won't pick up. Like he won't like say. So say you need
gotta throw
you have to like
Kevin?
call him, bro. You have to bug him, bro.
You can't do that.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, bro. Like he don't pick. Like it's legitimately like, bro, I'm outside. He won't pick up, so you gotta call him. You gotta bug him, be like, bro, you know. Or you legit have a question. Are we still meeting up this day? And he won't pick up, so you legit gotta call him and bug him, bro. I feel like we all got that friend, so in that sense, you know, pressure them.
That's justified. That's
Yeah.
a justified FaceTime call. You got to FaceTime.
Yeah.
But in his defense, he has an Android and his phone is fucked up where
No,
No, they ain't letting.
Instagram video chat, Snapchat video chat.
His phone
Homeboy got a
comes
Zoom.
every 50 seconds. Every around seconds or so.
Okay, but my problem is when he says yes, I'm gonna do it.
And then he doesn't.
And then he doesn't. And then so we call him and we text him and we do stuff. He knew he had an appointment. Why is he wasting my time?
Don't defend him. He lost.
No, you know what, Chris?
I get it.
We might have to do that sparring session, bro.
I know.
That's what it sounds like, huh?
Eddie.
The sparring session, so he's just gonna be getting beat up. It sounds like.
He gonna get rushed.
We're gonna gang up on him.
Jump
Oh
him.
my
They
God.
just gonna jump Kevin. It sounds like.
Yeah. It's all love.
It's
It's
a
all
good thing
love.
he was in the episode.
Hey, for real. Nah, it's all love. It's all love at the end of the day.
We love him.
Man, that's crazy.
We clarified that
You
in the
got
last
it.
episode.
Everybody got the one friend.
Yep.
Everybody got the one friend though. Everybody has
Right?
that one friend.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
Exactly.
you guys are all saying text, but for me, I feel bad now because with my family, I'm always the one trying to get them on video call no matter what. I'm trying to FaceTime my mom.
You're that guy.
They be at work, like if they have FaceTime, they don't answer. I FaceTime them again. My sister she does assistance at like a doctor's office, and she got the headset on. She'd be like, shh. I'm like, yo, what up? What are you doing? And she'd be like, shut the fuck up. So I'm that guy, but I do like to text. I'd rather text, to be honest. I just do it to annoy him. But yeah, I don't want to get beat up from you guys, so I like to text.
No, it's cool. Hey, be you, bro.
It's just I feel like sometimes
I'm a
people
FaceTime for sure.
don't realize that you have a different schedule than them sometimes. Because like my aunts have a group chat and they usually text each other or they'll send each other messages like memes or whatever. But there will be sometimes where like, and then they have like their separate one. They have one with me and then they have a separate one for themselves. Which I'm like, cool.
Family sends memes?
Yeah, we're cool like that. We're modern. And sometimes they'll be calling all of a sudden, like just to talk. But I'm at work or I'm at school and I'm like, what are you doing? You have your own group chat. You could use the separate one, but you still choose. Go out of your way. You know I'm at work. And it's been like, you guys, I'm at work. Can you guys like not call me right now? And then they'll hang up and then they'll call like 15 minutes later as if I'm done already. And it's like, it's not like that, you guys. That's
the best. You got sometimes I call the intention of catching them in like a situation like, what are you doing? Like just today I called my mom. She's gonna be mad too when I hear this. I called my mom, or actually my wife called and she was like, what are you doing? She's like, nothing. You could tell she was up to something. Like, what are you doing? Nothing. Big thing. And she was eating it like, hey, what the hell are you doing, Mom? She's like, nothing. Like, I caught you. So I never told her. I like to catch them like that. Like, oh, I got you, huh? That's one of the best parts. So that's probably why they call me. You probably ain't even really at work, girl. You better answer your phone.
That's what they do to you, like, yeah.
They just like check up on me and my lies.
Yeah. Oh. So, hey, bro, it was fun having you, bro. I'm glad we finally did it. And hopefully we'll do it again, and we either meet up in person or we just do it again.
Right.
Oh yeah, I gotta come into the studio. Hey, can I ask you guys one question?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What made you guys want to start a podcast? Like, what was the motivating factor behind
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
I'll take lead real quick, and y'all go ahead and chime in. So it's me and my boy, which is non-existent right here in the fact that there should be another square with his face up there, but he couldn't make it.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and so it's just me and him, bro. We've been boys for forever. Like we always be like riffing in the car. We'd be like, "Oh, bro, this would be perfect on a podcast. We love podcasts. This would be perfect on a podcast." You know, the homies laugh and stuff like that. It's all fun and games. It's all love. Our boy Brian comes from an acting background too, so we know him. And he's like, "Bro, I'll produce this. You know, I'm game." And then Eloy came along. She's like, "Oh man, you guys need this. She helped it out. She helped us out with the name actually. You know, because me and Kevin are bros. She's like, "Oh, you guys are romancing. You know, you guys doing it through life. Romancing life came about." And you know, Steven's another homie from day one, from high school. I know this dude,
Damn.
and then he's always been in the friend group. And then we came along, and then we're like, this bromancing life, like this little thing we have that started as a podcast, we could legit make it into anything. We could make this into like production side. We could shoot videos, get sketches going. We could do a clothing brand off it. We could do this, we do that, and you know, we started. You know, like some it's hard because all of us are busy. Some of us live far away and stuff like that. But we got ideas, you know, and then we got love for the game, and that's how it came about.
Yeah, and I think the original three, it was Kevin, Pacheco, and then Brian.
You're forgetting
and then they
fourth.
had me. Well, we don't talk about him.
We don't talk about the fourth.
We don't talk about him. He is the Voldemort of this group. We don't talk about him. Okay, he who shall not be named.
Go ahead.
But it's funny because we're still using his equipment. But besides that,
ignore that.
Ignore that. But I think me and Steven, we came a lot later. We came in as pretty much guests, just like you. But me, I think I got sucked in. Because they were like, oh, yeah, we need, because I told them, like, you guys need to be, like, on Instagram, and you guys need to, like, be proactive about social media. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And all of a sudden, one day, I was like, Brian texted me, he was like, hey, this is the information, this is the login for, like, the social medias. And I was like, I just was throwing out ideas for you guys. Didn't say that I was going to do it.
No, we signed you up 10-year contract.
Good move,
they just kind of pulled me in. They were like, no, you're doing it. And I just got sucked in, and now I never left.
And you're not gonna, all right? Man.
You don't know that.
Get used to it.
For me, it was more like, I remember when they first started. I showed up for the first episode. That
God, he was there. Holy shit, that was so long ago.
I was listening to it. Like I was like, oh, it's pretty funny. And I was drinking Coke, and I remember I made like all of you guys try it. But I remember I was an audience, and I kept showing up, and then I stopped showing up for a while, and then I got invited as a guest, and then I was like, oh, it's pretty fun, you know, doing it. And they told me if we want to come back, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then
Oh, that's crazy, man. That is crazy to see what you.
It's all love.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean. It is kind of crazy now that you mention it, Kris, because I think about it more and more. And it's like, basically, I got out of college. I wanted something to do, but I had put up a play, a stage reading that this girl was a part of, Eloy. Yeah, that was a while ago. After producing that, I was like, you know, I was trying to get my teeth into something, just like something substantial. And I was like, oh, I want to do a podcast. And then Sergio, the one who shall not be named, pitched this idea to me that he was going to, he wanted to make a podcast with Pacheco and Kevin. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Well, I want to produce something. So let's do it. And then the story goes that's how it started. And now it's a year in. We have a sponsor now. We have many we have more followers now than before on Instagram and stuff. Yeah. I mean, at this point, this is like my baby. I can't really let it go.
Yeah,
it's our baby. It's our baby, bro. Don't disrespect me like that. Nah, just kidding.
But no, it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. I never thought we would get to this point. And I feel like having you on this show has been like is like a really good precursor to how much we've grown, because you're a really cool dude, and to have you on this show is like awesome.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man. We found so.
You cut out for a second.
I'll be able to get it there in the studio.
You cut out for a second. Do you mind repeating?
Yeah, I said that. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yep.
Appreciate it for coming, bro.
Dude, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm saying when everything opens back up, man, I gotta come into y'all.
Oh.
Come in
We
person.
have to meet up because you're
I don't
gonna
know if
set
y'all
us all
got a
up.
studio.
Yeah, we have to meet up.
That's true.
Got plans? Hey, we got plans already, yeah, bro. We got plans in the making,
right.
so
I got
we're
plans
ready.
to set y'all up with the future husbands and wives.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna get lucky out there. We have to make it a segment maybe on the podcast.
Oh, hell
you
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
are on a date.
For sure, hey, for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll get a little bicep
Reality
pump.
TV style and stuff.
Let's go. I'm saying that'd be funny.
Yeah, bro. Bro, hey, real quick, bro. Shoot out your Instagram. We're gonna shout you out too on the Bromance Live page, but just shoot it out real quick right here. And anything you want to say before we leave?
Oh yeah, my Instagram is Kris K Cross, so just like how it is. And I just want to tell you guys thanks again. I know I said it like 3 times, but I appreciate y'all having me, working with me for this, and doing this on Zoom. And then also I got to thank my wife. She puts up with me. She's sitting over here at 11:05 at night.
I love her. Love her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my moms and my family, and of course my Uncle Kevin and Auntie Lori, who I mentioned, and my boy Alex. Shout out to my boy Alex who won, and a bunch. My sponsor and my boy Luis, Craft Meal Preps. If y'all in the meal preps and being healthy and whatnot, hit my boy on Instagram, Craft Meal Preps. He's actually a legit chef. He went through chef school. But he does meal preps now because he's big into working out and fighting.
Nice.
Yep. That's what
dope.
fuck you right. Safe. But he makes some bomb ass food. He'll help you lose weight and stuff like that. So I thank you guys for having me again.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah, you gotta do it again.
We'll do it again for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, so that's gonna be it for us, guys. Thank you for listening. Till next time, peace.
Bye.
Deuces.